1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Test, 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 test.
Hello everyone, welcome to the West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. This is the Basketball Tasmania State League Round 1 action coming to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre. Ronald Riggs, Justin Bryan in commentary with you. And first up, JB, we have the BTAS High Performance Group taking on the Kingborough Kings.
Yes, we sure do. The Kingborough Kings at home for this first leg of the State League, opening up what is sure to be an action-packed weekend. The BTAS High Performance team have gone through a bit of basketball over the last couple of weeks. Ronnie, state college championships, state junior championships, so they're well fired up and ready to go. And some of these Kings boys, former high performance athletes themselves, so this will be probably a better game than a lot of people would read on paper. Well scouted, well competitive. The Kings have been on fire at our local Hobart Senior League level, so this should be a ripper of a contest.
Absolutely. Referees Ruben Woolcock, Don Woolcock, Joe Woolcock, and Mike Kajul as we get underway. Sardines gets us going, and Lockie Brewer takes it to the drive, and well, in the first 7 seconds, we got a first score there, JB.
Yeah, two gentlemen who have had a good couple of weeks. Sardines leading Launceston College to the Div 1 state championships, and Lockie Brewer a pivotal piece of this BTAS team as well.
Young against young here today. Pawson working his way through at the 45, looking for Nash on the back door, goes up and gets the response there. We would see off a backdoor play.
Yeah, snuck off the back door there of the BTAS defence. Mark Radford won't be impressed with that, so they'll look to tighten that up next play down the floor. Good tip there by Shepherd.
Yep, Downey trying to get that one to Deans, but yep, Shepherd easily reading that one. Shot clock at 18 here.
So our Kings starting lineup, Noah Stratsma playing that 5. Isaac Collins at the 4, number 10, Caleb Nash, Bain Shepherd and Elijah Pawson.
So Brown inside. Goes cross court. Good movement here by BTAS. Expect that a fair bit as Sardines can't get that to go. To tip by Brewer, couldn't get it. Brown wanted thirds, can't get it to go. Boucher able to reel it in. And then up against his Chargers squad member in Elijah Pawson. Now Deans. Brewer open. Over Shepherd. Can't get that to go. Rattled out. And then Boucher tried to save it, but Kingborough will get it back.
Yeah, it's a good start here. The BTAS team showing some intent, running some structure, and that's one thing you're going to find with these BTAS teams this weekend is they will run a lot of structure. And as I mentioned previously, Ronnie, in other different mediums of media, that this is the ultimate tournament really for some of these BTAS players. One of the last times they'll wear the BTAS jersey with no national championships this year.
Good defensive play by Lockie Brewer as he gets the rejection down the other end. Meanwhile, back at the high performance end, all going through sets of hands here. Brown inside, has to kick it out. Brewer open this time. Long, he's none of two early on. Brown with the O board. Downey back to Brown for that mid-range too. And Luke Brown's found his form. He's got a few games under his belt now after coming back from injury, JB.
Yeah, he's been playing well, mate. He's a senior league debut here in Hobart the other week. And he'd be very happy with that good start for himself.
Pawson working his way to the middle. Over Deans, can't get that to go. And then all got knocked out by Pawson.
One of the key factors here you'll notice is just the sheer size and athleticism of this BTAS team. A lot of these young men, 16, 17, 18 years old, and they at times tower over their opponents, really stretching out the floor.
Absolutely. Boucher works his way over Collins and goes off glass to get his scoring account open.
Yeah, the Kings trying to run a bit of a zone here, but I would not be wanting to really test the shooting ability, especially with the length that BTAS provide. Could be a dangerous move on the part of the Kingborough Huon Kings.
Will be. Shepherd goes for 3. Just in and out on that one. Boucher with the rebound. We're just ticked on near 2.5 minutes in this first quarter. So we come to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre. Brewer goes cross-court. Well, Boucher tried to socket that one off. Pawson picks up the scraps off and running. Got Danny to beat. Doesn't need that. He gets it to himself.
He's been playing well, Elijah. He's probably going to be in the role, not so much of being a point guard in this team like he is at Social. So look for him to be a bit of an off-ball presence for the Kings.
Yes, a bit of a different lineup as Brown can't get that to go. Shepherd went upstairs, got a knock, but no foul called.
Fighting through that contact early.
Pawson thought about it. Collins now back to the handoff to Pawson, and Pawson gets another basket himself.
Yeah, used the contact well there, Elijah, and while he is a very good shooter, he's also very quick on that first step. Going to be a tough one to guard throughout this whole State League tournament.
So, good ball movement. Here's Downey, puts it to the floor. Now has to kick it out. Deans for 3. Can't get that to go. A lot of drive kick action here by the BTAS High Performance off their actions.
We've got a substitution here.
Thomas Nyhouse coming in.
Caleb Nash heading out. And honestly, a bit of a concern there. A couple of players just stumbling around. I mean, it is early. This is their first of, for BTAS. I think BTAS are playing 4 games on the weekend, Ronnie. The Kings have 3, but I just want to get that the jitters out of the way for this first game.
Absolutely. Try to get a little bit of game rust out. They've been more training than anything else, this squad, as Boucher kicks it out. Brewer this time can't get it to go. Who come off a 1-point win in the state under-16 championship final early in the week. Foul's been called. That's going to be on Luke Brown. And Kings to get it back.
This will be a really good test too for the lads here, having Ruben Woolcock leading referee out of Tasmania, an NBL panel referee. So good to see the State League attracting some high-level officials as well, Ronald.
Absolutely. Good to have Ruben back down. I'm sure he will do a good job over the weekend. Shepherd throws up an air ball. Yeah,
a bit of a stiff morning breeze here in the Sports Centre. Shepherd won't be happy with that one.
Certainly not, no. We came down here last night. It was quite calm.
Yes, it was very calm here down in the Kingborough municipality, as they say.
Yes.
Which is abnormal, as you know, Ronnie. You and I here on a Wednesday night tend to freeze every part of our anatomy off.
Absolutely. Now, Nyhouse on the play before played good defence over Boucher to rejected, but then on the second go, there was a foul on the floor.
Yes, not necessarily the result the Kings want out of good D. Score is 6-all here almost halfway through, so both sides still in the feeling out process.
Absolutely. Downey. Now Deans finds that gap. Good kick to Brewer. That's a good look. And again, Brewer can't connect from 3 at the moment. He's gone cold so far. Meanwhile, Pawson goes himself.
Bang.
And it was a good option. Elijah Pawson with the 3. And Riley Haywood looking to check in for the first time shortly.
Going to need to change up the structure here, the BTAS high performance team. They're looking for a lot of outside shooting, hasn't fallen so far, and defensively they've just got a few gaps they need to plug.
So Deans goes inside, pulls up, can't get that to go. Pawson with the rebound. Pawson got numbers in support. Collins. Now Pawson drives with a good pass into Noah Strasmer and gets the 2.
Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Radford's looking for a timeout here very shortly. They're ticking away now to a 5-point lead. They're going to want a stop and a basket here.
Downey for 3. And finally, BTAS high performance crack the ice on the perimeter game.
Now they need a stop. Their big key here is to get a stop. Radford wanting the players to push up a bit here, put the pressure on the ball. And they just want to try and squeeze as much out of this as possible.
A little bit of extensive pressure by the high performances. I say Collins goes for downtown and can't get it to go. Strasmer, ball comes to him, gets over Boucher and then draws the foul. And he'll go to line for 2.
That open baseline has been a question for both sides at the moment. The Kings really letting things slip and allowing BTAS to run a majority of their play on the baseline. Meanwhile, defensively, both sides just probably playing a little high, relying on that outside perimeter game. So it'll be interesting to see just how they adjust here in the final few minutes of this quarter.
Lockie Maynard, Phoenix Roby and Riley Haywood into the game for the first time this morning.
Yes, some key inclusions there for both squads. We get to see Phoenix Roby a bit more than most of these players, Ronald, and as you know, has taken a big step in his development this year. He'll be looking to make an impact with his minutes.
Absolutely. We'll see what can happen in this last 4 minutes and 25 seconds of this first quarter. Maynard back to Haywood. Now the ball just getting swinged around the top here as the high-performance team look to go into a bit of a set here. Roby, now Maynard at the corner, and that missed everything. And then Haywood able to get that O board, and BTAS should reset, but good defensive pressure by Nyhouse and Shepherd. Kingborough seem to get the ball up the floor here now. So Shepherd just slowing it down and let the troops coming back.
They're really looking to attack the corners, both of these teams here.
So Strasmer works his way through. Good drive by Noah Strasmer. And Mark Radford's seen enough. He'll call timeout, and the lead has extended out to 6. 15 plays 9. Kingborough in the lead.
Absolutely, Ronnie. And there's that play from Noah Stratsma, who over the last couple of seasons as a senior player with the Kings has had to really play that stretch 4 or 5 role, while still at times when he's been developing along with the Chargers, playing a perimeter role as well. So he's been really able to expand his skill set, and there's just an example of it there. Used his length, got by on the perimeter, got to the hoop, and a good timeout here from Coach Radford, just not getting the stops they want. And probably looking for a bit better offensive execution.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing early on here, JB, a lot of drive kick, playing with 2 feet, and then they're looking to kick out, but none of those shots have been able to knock down. They're good looks, but just nothing going through that net at the moment.
No, and I think, too, one thing that BTAS probably aren't doing as much at the moment, I mean, they are, as we've mentioned, they're trying to look for that drive and kick, and they're trying to get to the outside. I'd like to see some of those drives actually taken to the hoop and trying to draw some contact, get themselves to the line, get themselves into a bit of a routine. They're obviously changing their defensive pressure at the moment, wanting to press up a little bit more and really force the outside shot on the defensive end, but offensively, rather than having to kick all the time on the drive, try and get to the cup, try and draw a foul, try and get some shooting stroke in. Getting looks at the rim, no matter how you get them, particularly in what has been sort of an atrocious game so far, can only be of benefit. So it'll be interesting to see how the high-performance team come out of this one.
And as we mentioned at the start, round 1 of the State League is happening this weekend. We've got games over 3 courts here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. And plenty of action happening. It's been a very jam-packed schedule here in these last couple of months since the pandemic has kind of ended for us here.
And I think a full credit too to Basketball Tasmania. They've had an action-packed schedule, particularly the last week and a half. We've gone college championship, state junior championships. We're now in our senior state league. And they're going to try and cram almost 3 rounds of the state league in a month along with finals, as that shot is long. But, full credit there to BTAS, who are really trying to, even with stretched resources, really trying to push forward and keep a sense of normality about things running.
Absolutely. Second round will be in Devonport in a few weeks' time. Substitution, Kai Savage coming in. Lockie Brewer is going to have a rest.
And again, the real benefit that Coach Radford has here is he's dealing with up to 15. Oh, as Strathmore goes on the baseline, we'll get on that in a second. But the benefit they have, Sardines long at 3, no good. No. But they get to rotate through so far with elite talent that they can really mix their lineups and really trouble opposing defences.
So Savage, now Haywood. Haywood tried to go that long kind of goose step.
Yeah, tried to split the defenders a long way.
So Pawson, now Shepherd for 3. Looks good, is good for Bain Shepherd.
Bang, that is a signature of Shepherd. He's able to really control the ball, but you do not want to leave him alone. He's a senior campaigner, he's quick on his feet, and he doesn't mind a shot.
So Savage going for the response of his own. He's only 15, the young fella. As Strathmore comes
There's
up
that
the floor.
Length.
Yeah.
Would have gone out of bounds for most people.
That's true. Collins. Pawson getting that on ball. Pawson pulls up. Can't get that to connect.
He'll be wanting to make a bit more use out of that, particularly in the second half, Elijah. That can make and break games.
So, ball swinging around. Deans into Haywood. Now kicks out Maynard. Good extra pass. Savage has to put it to the floor. Now back to Maynard. Shot clock at 8, but Maynard gets it up. A bit flat. Collins with the rebound.
The Kings have really paid attention to the scout here, watching the high-performance team warm up. That's a play.
Nice pass.
That's a good finish. That's a play previously there for BTAS that they had run multiple times in their practice before this game. Well scouted and well defended, and they get the basket on the other end. Good reward.
Yep, Thomas Nyhouse with the 2. Now, Savage is open. This looked all right, but just curved to the left a little bit. As Pawson comes up the floor here. Now Shepherd. High set here, running by the Kings here. A lot of horns action. Strathmore works his way through.
Get out of here.
Rejected by Maynard to get that out of here, as you say rightly, JB. Haywood coming down the floor now here for the high performance group. Now back to Maynard. Here's Deans. Shot clock at 10. High performance need to get something going here. A lot of movement up the top, but nothing happening inside. Shot clock at 5. Savage has to make something out of nothing, maybe. Will be Deans on the shot clock buzzer. Can't get it to go, and the shooting is starting to dry up here for the high performance group.
To dry up or to start, that's another question in of itself, Ronnie. They're not getting much reward for what they want. That drive will be rewarded with a foul shot. And again, there's a prime example when the jumper isn't falling, and the Kings have been very streaky themselves in their shot. They're getting inside, they're trying to draw the foul, they're trying to get to the line. They've got to continue to do that, the Kings. Meanwhile, on the other end, BTAS relying on their outside shot, not falling at the moment. Again, I feel there just needs to be an adjustment, and they're going to look for that in the second quarter.
So Eli French coming in for the high performance group, and then I saw Jordan Strathmore, and I think it was Dan
Dan Hartog. It is Dan. He was a Div 2 college champion last weekend.
With Calvin Christian.
The big fella there, and he's played some crucial minutes at senior level as well this year. The Kings running with a very eclectic lineup, and it's certainly proved dividends as they currently sit third in the SBL ladder.
Yes, and SBL restarting, of course, this Wednesday after the week off, as Jordan Walker comes into the game for the first time.
And again, that's probably just an example too, Ronnie, of our stretched resources. There were so many referees needed at our state championships that sometimes you've just got to bite the bullet in other situations. And I think some of our senior players were more than happy to have a week off over school holidays.
Dan Hardog misses it too.
There's that effort.
Good effort. And French coming down the floor here now. So Haywood. Now Savage.
The mullet is alive and well in the BTAS high performance team.
Yes, it is. I think there's a few backstories behind that, JB. Well, we might touch on that later.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say, I think I know what you're going to talk about there too.
They're all for good causes, by the way, as well too. Good to see the mullets back. As Jordan Strassman, now Jordan Walker. And there's a few Jordans out on the floor here, so we'll work that one out.
Big screen
by Nyhouse.
And gets the result.
Does too. Good work there by Thomas Nyhouse.
And I think a bit of physicality won't hurt these BTAS boys. This will just sort of give them a real contest as we head into the last 5 seconds.
And French and Maynard just got lost there in sync and turned that one over. So Kingborough head coach Alex Cato will be very happy with this start from his team as we go final seconds here.
Need to get a shot up.
Strasma from Huon, and that missed everything. So quarter time sees Kingborough 22, the high performance group 9.
Yes, we'll just take a quick break here, a quick time out, and we'll be joined on the other side heading into the second quarter by our head referee for the weekend, Andrew Johnson.
And we're back for the second quarter here. Kingston up by 13, 22 plays 9 as we get underway in the second quarter. Coming to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre. Royal Riggs, Justin Bryant with you in commentary, and we have Andrew Johnson in for special comments very shortly. Noah Strassman misses the 3 to get us going and missed everything as Eli French comes down the floor here. Roby now Maynard. Maynard, well, looking for the backdoor play, but then goes himself and lost the handle. And Kingborough to get it back.
As we mentioned, Andrew Johnson joining us, senior referee for this round of the State League. Andrew, referees have been pretty stretched across the last week or so. How are we looking for numbers for our first round of State League?
Yeah, the numbers this week are actually pretty good. As you said, the guys have done a lot of work over the last week and a half.
Hartog inside, good finish there, keep going.
And it was good to, especially down the state college champs here last weekend, good to see some of our senior players step in and help us out as well. So I think some of them had a bit of fun, and it was good to work with them. But this weekend we're looking pretty good at the moment.
Running 2-man or 3-man for most of the weekend?
So we've got 3-man on all of our men's games this weekend.
Walker inside, avoiding contact. There's Nyhouse spots for that. That spills out of bounds. Continue.
So 3-man on all of our men's games this weekend, and we'll run 2-man on our women's games as well.
Very good. We've got some senior experience amongst most of these referees. Andrew, how has referee development in the state been going the last 12 months with everything considered with COVID and other restrictions that we've had?
Yeah, COVID made it a bit difficult to get our group together like we normally would have, and as you explained earlier, you know, with the calendar now, with all of the events back to back, that provides us an opportunity to sort of catch up a little bit. Look, we've got a really good bunch of kids coming through, and you know, the focus will now turn to getting some more green shirt referees on the court, building our numbers and moving forward with that.
Very good. We'll touch back with Andrew very shortly, Ronnie, but it's good to see that our referee stocks, much like our player stocks, are in a healthy condition.
Yeah, it has been a little bit stretched, but we're, you know, as AJ says, they're biting by and getting through, and, you know, really pleased to see referees are stepping up this weekend and helping out as well too. So, no, it's a good job by AJ and his crew, so good for them.
Inside.
Good job there.
Stratsma. We just turned AJ's microphone off.
Yep.
No sound.
There we go. No crackling in the background.
We'll get him to run around as a sound effects man. That's unbelievable. two for one opportunity. He doesn't like the sound of that, I don't think.
Haywood from downtown,
Oh,
just in and out.
Flat as an A4 piece of paper, couldn't get over the rim.
Walker coming down the floor here now for the Kingborough Kings. Marching out to 16 while we had AJ speaking away there. And Strasma, now Pawson, puts on a move, and then French able to read that. French off and running, has young Geordie Strasma and Walker to beat. Gives it to Savage, puts it up. Good defensive play by Jordan Strasma as Jordan Walker. Now Pawson goes to the bucket. Good drive, young man.
Couldn't get the finish.
Can't get it to go. Haywood got the rebound. Now French coming down the floor here for the high performance group. The high performance group need to get some points on the board quick.
Yeah, the Kings' execution, as they go for it there, they've called for it, missed. But the Kings' execution here through their mixed lineups and rotations, albeit there, just jinxing everyone, they get it back. But their execution here has resulted in some more. Sorry about the crackle, that was on me. That'll be an and one. That'll be our starting player of the day, brought to you here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. And that was a nice little lob pass. The length of Stratsma really taking advantage of that one. And young Stratsma has actually come into, he's heading out to the game now. They are some impactful minutes, and I think a leading example of if you're a bench player in this competition for any team, that's what you've got to come in and do.
Absolutely, JB. Great play there by the Kingborough Kings, and now they push their lead out to 18. They can make it 19 here if Noah Strasma makes this one. And does.
The Kings here have probably surprised me a little bit. They're looking, I thought they were going to come in a little undermanned here, and I mean, they have been very streaky, but it's good to see that form from State League is continuing over, and even with a mixed senior and Div 2 roster.
Yeah, good try by Riley Haywood there, JB, as he gets the two.
Very good finish there. Took advantage of the speed mishap there, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of defence here that the high-performance team come out with, because these Kings players, that's a good strip. Yeah, came off the leg. But they've come out with some genuine confidence here, the Kings. The high-performance team just going to need to adapt, but this is the sort of situation also that the coaches in Martin, Radford, and that is Brereton over there as well. This is the situation they want their players to be in, to learn to adjust to as well.
So Haywood, now Boucher, has to kick it out. Deans works his way through.
Oh, has he?
Goes over Hardog and then back to Boucher. Can't get that play to work, and then Downey couldn't. No, Downey tried to protest the case, but referees saw it the other way.
Just quickly, that is one of the nicest looking moustaches I have seen in quite a while on Coach Martin there. That is unbelievable. We're going to have to get an interview on that. That is tremendous.
Pawson kicks it out, but it goes over to Jonty Morgan there, who's on the bench there for the Kings in casual gear.
Yes, very casual gear, Ronald.
Yes, supporting the team though, which is the main thing.
Very much so.
So 4 minutes in, term number 2, and we're still at a 17-point ball game here. So, Deans. Now Boucher. Shot clock at 10. Haywood decides to go for it and does.
Haywood's injection into this lineup has tried to create a spark and try and bring some energy to this team. He's been a leading contributor so far, and if the BTAS team, can ride his back, as you can see, good defensive presence there. Hartog just too big, but if they can continue to ride the energy that Haywood's bringing to this team, they can slowly peg this lead back.
So Deans, another score here from the high performance group would be good. Now Haywood. Bouch.
Here he is again.
To Haywood for back-to-back triples. Is short on that one. Strasma with the rebound, and now the Kings will slow this one down and look to run something here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. They've got a very good mix of offensive talent on this one. So hopefully they can gain something here.
Strasma tries to go for a couple, but then last deflected by Downey.
Yeah, Nash trying to, in a sense, get rid of his opponent there to get free, but running straight into a double is never going to help as Isaac Collins checks into this one. The BTAS high performance team, the M&Ms, the mullets and mustaches. Unbelievable stuff so far, but they're slowly trying to track in. It might take them, another 5-6 minutes to truly get into this game. As you can see, the athleticism, but they are tightening up defensively and getting better looks offensively. So the coaches have to be happy with that.
So Haywood looking for Crennan inside. One-on-one with Pawson. Now back to Haywood. Haywood.
And that'll be a block.
He's trying to split for a couple there, JB. Obviously, you can sense there's some sort of a gap as a timeout's been called here. Coach Mark Radford will have a talk with the troops.
And you just see him give the nod there to Haywood. He's very impressed with his efforts. And again, that's just the sort of thing that a lot of these boys are going to want to ride. Now, we were talking earlier, Ronald,
yes.
as much as we are making a light-hearted conversation about the mullets and moustaches,
Yes.
the mullets are for a good cause.
They certainly are.
Is it the Latrobe High boys?
I think it was a few boys up Latrobe Highway. I think we need
in the northwest coast.
Yeah, so it's all around mental health and
another way to help raise awareness for mental health and men's well-being and just supporting your fellow man, basically, Ronnie.
Absolutely, and no, it's a good initiative to see. Very well supported up there in the schools, and we, of course, will happily forge our support to that as well too.
Most people that have known me since I was smaller, Ronnie, know that I used to have a moulet myself. It was shoulder length. I had to get rid of that for grade 6, and Mum told me in no uncertain terms I'd never see it again. But there's plenty of photos floating around of that one. But yes, I had a moulet myself. But no, it's all for a good cause, and I mean that shows the leadership amongst this young group as well. They're not in it just to be athletes and basketballers. You know, they're setting an example not only for the younger generation and younger hoopers coming through, but probably even for the senior members of the basketball community and community in general. That, you know, we might be 16, 17, 18, and we might be in this position we are, but we're also using our base sort of thing in our platform to really help and support others.
So play restarts, well said, JB, as Downey, now Deans. See what BTAS can get out of this baseline set here as Haywood drives, puts up the runner and gets it to go. Nice work by Riley Haywood.
The player of the game for the BTAS team so far. He's provided that spark off the bench. He's going to get extended minutes here, I reckon.
Good pressure by Downey. Pawson equal to the challenge. Goes himself. Boucher got a hand on that. I think we can count that as a block.
Yep, get out of here, he said.
Downey into Crennan. Now that came off Noah Strasma's leg, and it'll be the high performance group to get it back.
Back to 14 points now for BTAS. They're going to want to slowly chip this away basket by basket.
And a defensive breakdown. Haywood with another basket.
He is really causing some disturbance here. He's not the tallest person on the floor, but he's very, very solid. He's got a very good basketball brain and taking full advantage of that.
Good rejection by Crennan as Shepherd tried to drive that one through but got nowhere. Now Haywood is on a hot streak and then nearly lost it. We need
to stop. We've jinxed everybody at this point.
I think we have. Shepherd goes for it and that missed everything.
That's his second air ball.
Nash with the rebound but then lost it. And now the high performance group through Downey will come down and see what they can run here. It's Deans.
Notice Sire Deans hasn't actually got into the contest much early.
No. Downey for 3 will drop. No. Just a bit off right. Radford a bit frustrated there on the sidelines. You can tell just from our vantage point here.
We've got the best seat in the house at the moment.
Absolutely. We've got a good broadcast set up here this weekend. Collins, Strasma goes middle. Nice pass into Nash. Nash missed everything. And then Strasma with his own tip draws a foul on Crennan and will go to line for 1.
Now, we counted that block before on Boucher. I'm going to count that as an assist to Nash. He just lobbed that off the backboard on the wrong side of the rim, and that was perfect for Noah Strasma. Fell into his lap. Substitutions here.
Yes, Lockie Brewer coming in for Lewis Crennan. Luke Brown coming in for Riley Haywood.
Yep, Haywood having a tremendous impact on minutes here. Coach Radford wanting to get some rest into him, no doubt, heading into the second half, but he's helped stem this lead back and really produce some energy here for BTAS.
So Strasma to extend this lead to 15 and does so. So 36-21. Just on 3 minutes remaining as Deans puts it up and gets onto the scoreboard.
As I mentioned before, he's led LC to the Div 1 State Championship last weekend. He's going to want to have a big impact here. Had a massive impact for Launceston in the State League last year and going to want to do the same here this year for
Strasma short on that attempt. Boucher with the rebound now. Downey.
13 points now.
So Deans works his way through. Tough shot and draw to foul and will go to the line for 2.
Yep, hit the defender in the middle and well played there. Take the chest of the defender, rise up, create the space. Couldn't get it to fall, will go for 2. And yeah, the BTAS team looking a much better unit here in the last few minutes on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, it's taken probably a quarter and a bit for them to finally get get some gel going and get used to it. Like I say, they've been training more than what they have been playing, so the more game time they can have together is better, JB.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned, this is really the ultimate tournament for a lot of these boys. There were no nationals this year, so a lot of them will be treating this like a national and wanting to go out for some of them in their last state campaign as juniors with an absolute bang.
As Shepherd goes up, can't get that to go. I'll quickly mention that the COE are very interested in having a look at some of the high-performance games as well too, JB. Keep an eye on a few of our youngsters.
Understandable too.
So they will be seeing a copy of this game as Boucher. Now Downey
Good
works his way
handles, good
through.
drive.
Can't get it to go. Boucher with a tip. And good work there. No boxing out from the Kingborough Kings there on that occasion.
No, both sides in the box-out department have probably been below average, and I think they both admit that. But the BTAS team crashing the rebounds in general a little bit better, not having to worry about the box-out with their size, and again, looking to cut it to single digits here.
So Collins misses that shot as we...
Actually, they are in single digits.
They are. 9 points is our margins. Just come quick as that. As biggest lead was about 16 early on in the game.
Blew out to 16, but Sardines and Maynard have really changed the outlook of that.
Rejected by Pawson. Good defensive play there.
Get out of our house, Elijah Pawson says. These sneaky hops from a standing position, Elijah. Good spin, good
Beautiful move by Elijah Pawson. Can't get that to go.
Good handles.
Now Downey. Shepherd nearly picked that one off. Dean still got it. Back to Brewer. Brewer now over Nash. Yes.
They've really started to click here. The BTAS high performance team getting it done on both ends. Only a 7-point margin now, Ronnie.
Back to 7, and good work by the high performance group to work their way back in. Shepherd has other ideas. Strasma as well too. Goes over Brown.
Good defence there by Brown.
Good work.
He's looking a little sore there, Brown. Again, he's only returned into games, but he'll be looking to try and get some minutes and some energy into himself.
He's come, and of course Luke Brown has come off a state under 18 championship campaign as well too, where Hobart Phoenix went down to Glenorchy Spartans in a rematch of the TJBL Southern Conference Final. That happened a couple of weeks ago, and Glenorchy getting the upper hand in that one. So Sardines to restart. 34.8 remaining here in this first half as Downey. Deans finds that gap, splits through a couple, and then drew a foul on Nyhouse, and will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, probably took the contact a little earlier. Referee Wilcock there, just letting the play go through, seeing whether Deans, who is one of the best players in the state at any age level, could get that done. But he'll go to the line for 2, and again, you'd have to say the Kings are feeling a bit shaky, Ronnie, with the BTAS team closing in.
Absolutely. They played a good first half. There's some bad lapses in the second quarter. Probably would concern Coach Cato. May need to address that at half-time. So marching back to 5 as we enter the last 30 seconds of this first half. Basketball Tasmania State League tipping off this weekend here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. Walker. Now Pawson. Wants an on-ball.
9 seconds.
No, waves that one off. So Pawson looking to go 1-4 flat. 1-on-1 with Deans. Now Boucher joining the party. Walker for the 3. Just flat. Boucher the rebound.
Need to get up the floor.
And
1.
can Dean? No. And will they?
Nah, they'll call time there, I think, Ronnie.
Okay. Half-time sees Glenorchy with a slim 5-point lead, 36-31.
Yes, 36-31, and that was a far better quarter there for the BTAS high-performance team. They started to lock in on the glass, and possession of this basketball is key in any game, Ronnie, and there's no doubt about it. The best rebounding team here is the BTAS high-performance team. I think the true spark of that second quarter, as we mentioned, was Haywood, number 5 in the yellow there for BTAS, coming in, playing some solid defence, pounding it in on the glass, really getting inside, knocking down his jumpers, playing a good all-around game, and in turn has clearly lifted the energy of this BTAS team. Meanwhile, for the Kings, they haven't really been too successful in boxing out. They haven't been able to knock down their outside shots, and particularly from people who you would class as very reliable shooters. Their second chance points, though, I feel have certainly been better than BTAS, and I think that's what's helped them keep this lead. Neither side really boxing out, but the Kings really able to utilise that baseline and how open it is to get in and get those points. One thing that we have noticed in Senior League, particularly for the Kings, though, Ronnie, is that when their confidence starts to dip and a team starts to make a bit of a run, they generally lose a bit of form, which really allows the other team in. So I think one thing they're going to want to do is try and lock down with some stops here to open this third quarter to sort of help build momentum, or stem the momentum of the opposition and build their own momentum in their own right. So should be a very competitive start to the third quarter. And I don't think the Kings realise that they've probably got another 3.5 minutes. We've got really well-timed games here.
Yes.
Which is certainly the bonus. But, Coach Radford, I think he's going to be very happy. That driving kick starting to work a little better now. And as we mentioned prior in the first quarter, getting inside and not always looking for that kick, but going to the hoop, getting to the line and taking advantage of some of the size they've got as well.
And I think too, JB, and this is something I noticed throughout the junior grand finals, was when we opened up the show court here, it took players a good quarter to get used to the surroundings. It's a bit more of an open court. We don't have this black thing, the
divider curtain.
Divider curtain, thank you, coming down. So, sometimes the different surroundings, it can be a difference as well too.
Yeah, depth perception is a big factor, and you even notice that on our senior level during the week. You'll see teams, particularly when it comes to finals and grand finals, they tend to have to adjust because we play all our finals just on the one court down here in the south. And I mean, it's a bit different in the northwest. They're constantly playing in open gyms, so they're probably a bit more used to and adjusted to this. But at our local level, we're playing on full courts in a divided area where you've only got 5 feet of space either side. But both sides really adjusting. This has been a reasonably competitive game so far, Ronnie, and considering the games we've got lined up throughout the rest of the show court, and particularly the ones we're covering, we're going to have a tremendous amount of coverage and tremendous amount of action here on the show court. Absolutely,
JB. Let's coming up next, it will be the BTAS High Performance Women's team taking on the Devonport Warriors. That should be a really good game.
Just quickly in that, noticeably, Devonport actually have a lot of players in the BTAS High Performance Women's team, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage minutes across both sides there.
Absolutely. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm just seeing what your asterisks here in our schedule, JB. Latrobe taking on Kingborough, so we'll see Kingborough again later on in the afternoon.
We sure will. Latrobe are putting up a nice lineup as well. They're going to run 9 or 10 deep, and I think they'll be an interesting side, Ronald. I think they're going to be not a benchmark team, but there's certainly going to be a side that if you're going to be on top of Latrobe, you're probably going to be thereabouts or in contention. But if you're unable to sort of get over Latrobe, your hopes in this tournament probably aren't as high as you think they are.
And we round it out at 7 o'clock between Wynyard and Grenadiers.
The Grenadiers, one of the most confident teams in the south. They've been on a bit of a streak here and there here in the south. Meanwhile, I'm hearing big talks that a former Tasmanian college basketball superstar is returning to the court for the first time in 2 years off the back of some injuries. So hoping to see that particular individual come out and play some good basketball. And a former, that particular player, almost a young poster child for the early days of the State League 5 or 6 years ago. So hopefully if that individual, who we will reveal later, is on the court, it should be good, and hopefully some confidence from the Grenadiers.
Absolutely. A big day of State League ahead. All these games are, of course, up on the West Coast Ball Connection YouTube channel. And we will be sure to check it out.
We will endeavour, from the time you see this game, I mean, this one was recorded at 10 a.m. We're endeavouring to get those up, hopefully processed and uploading tonight, ready for your viewing tomorrow morning. And in our games tomorrow afternoon, we will hopefully get them done ready for Monday morning. So within 48 hours of the tip-off of the State League, all 6 games covered, hopefully will be up live for everyone to look at. And, hopefully a bit of free advertisement as well for some of these teams and some of these players to mix their own highlights and certainly get a few more eyes on the State League as well.
Absolutely. Everyone craving for a bit of footage and some basketball action, and we're glad to provide it to you by our YouTube channel.
Just quickly, if we've got referee Johnson there, we do.
Yeah.
Is your microphone on?
Just flick it on. There we go. I can
hold it a bit closer to your mouth this time, AJ.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
In a game like this, you've seen the first half. What are some particular things the referees are wanting to keep their eye on and certainly look after in the way of keeping this game nice and clean in the second half, Andrew?
I think actually what we saw to start with, and this may be what BTAS comes back to your point of, the BTAS guys have been training a lot but not necessarily playing a lot, is the physicality. Like, there's been a lot of under the bucket, the defence are straight up, they're going straight up in the air, and the referees are letting it go, which is what particularly at this level and everywhere, we want to see happen. We want to see those shots rejected, we want to see players getting in the air. and the boys have done a really good job so far of letting that occur.
Anything you've noticeably seen that you think will iron itself out over the weekend? Not necessarily from a ref standpoint, but something that the players themselves will iron out before you have to pick it up? Or do you feel there's going to be some ticky-tack stuff that you might have to blow early and just get out of the system?
Look, watching this game, I think, if we can take this sort of, template and have this replicated across all of our games, which, as a refereeing group, that's what we try and do. I think we're in for some good games this weekend.
Very good. And I suppose, finally, what sort of dynamic are we looking at here? Do you think players will have to adjust if they run into, say, a two-man game by accident, or do you feel that they can continue to play through and the consistency on all three levels, players, referees, etc., will remain the same?
Yeah, definitely. I think they should remain the same. The word you said is consistency. Coaches are looking for that not only from their players but us as referees, and that's certainly what we aim for. With all of our education, when we're out on court talking with each other, it's getting the right calls and consistently up and down both ends of the floor.
Very good. Good to hear from you again, Andrew. We'll touch base again in the last, and it's good to see everyone striving for elite performance on the floor here, Ronnie.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what you want when you're at these tournaments and events, and everyone has high expectations of themselves, and I know other people will as well too. So they're all doing their best. As Pawson trying to nearly tip that one in. As Deans comes down to the floor now, Boucher.
This game is only 1 point now, Ronnie. BTAS has come out with high energy.
Yes, they've come out on a 4-sip run to start this third quarter. And Boucher at the elbow. Now, one-on-one with Strasma. Good, nice move by Callum Boucher. Can't get it to finish, and Strasma gets away with one there.
Few $1 million moves and a lot of 5-cent finishes here so far, Ronnie, but if we can get some execution on that later in the day, this highlights clip is going to be tremendous.
Boucher kicks it out to Deans. Now Brown.
Very tentative there, Brown.
Brewer again works his way inside. Again, good read there by Shepherd. Yeah. Shepherd off and running. He's got Downey to beat. And then now that's an offensive foul as he put the ball kind of in front and pushed it off into Downey's body.
And I think full credit there to Downey. He kept position. He stayed in front. He went back, maintained his space, and again, contact was there. Easy call for the referee.
Absolutely. Timeout being called by Kingborough head coach Alex Cato. And as you say, 1 point ball game, 36-35. So we come to you from the Kingborough Sports Centre.
Yes, some adjustments made here early, and they're going to need to be by the Kings. As I mentioned, Ronnie, the big thing here is the Kings, when they drop their head, they lose their momentum, and they need to get stops to draw on their own energy. That's something they haven't been able to do here early. BTAS taking advantage of it. And I think Coach Radford's going to be very happy. They're getting baskets down the other end. And then not only are they making good defensive plays here, but they're putting themselves on the line and doing the 1%ers. And that's one thing we talk about, and that's one thing that Hayward did, particularly in the second quarter. The 1%ers, hustling for the loose ball, getting the rebounds, making the extra pass, getting inside, taking the contact. They're the little things that energise your team and win you basketball games. While, it's great to see a flashy pass or a dunk or a good layup and stuff like that, it's the 1%ers that get things done. As we have a quick question from Mr. Webb.
Chaber, you take it. I'll keep going. So both teams just come back out onto the floor here. So 1 point ball game, 1 point ball game as I can hear JB.
Sorry, Ronnie. We're trying to...
There we go. No.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get these ones...
Meanwhile, back at the ball game. So... Sardines coming down the floor. 7:45 remaining in this third quarter. As it was. Ball getting moved around here. Now Boucher looking for the play here to Brown. Brown now back to Deans. Now Downey puts it with some moves, trying to go through Nash. Now Brown has to put it up and can't get it to go.
I have
there we go.
Have I returned?
Yes, you have returned, JB.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. We're going to need the good... I didn't even... Oh, wow. Well, everything you've commented, just seen centre court. Apologies for that. We'll run the test pattern over the top of that one with the good guys. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
We're not sponsored by them, thank you.
Sponsored by who?
Kingborough, the Kingborough Canteen.
Yes, the Sports Centre Canteen.
Meanwhile, Noel Strassman made the two. And put the lead out to 3 now, and a timely bucket there needed for Kingborough as well too. So Deans to restart here on the baseline.
Which I apologise we didn't get on camera.
Yes. Okay. Rightio. Downey, we'll be right.
Get it out of the way early, Ronnie. Get the rust out. It's only the first half of the day.
Excellent. Now Deans puts it to the floor. Good screen by Brown. Now Deans goes over the top, bit long. Good O-board by Brown and gets the 2.
And there's that hustle you're seeing. It's really transferred out of this second quarter. And again, the 1%ers crashing the glass, hustling for the loose ball, making the extra pass, gets you an easy bucket. And BTAS really in control of this game, you feel.
So Pawson at 45. Good pressure by Downey. And again, Downey working that extensive pressure on Pawson, and will have to because Pawson will be looking to score off any possession here.
One of the most undersized players in this BTAS team, but showing more heart than a lion. He's playing on both ends really well so far and getting results.
So substitutions being made. We'll get to those shortly. Strasma puts it up. Can't get it to go. Good rebound by Nyhouse, and then a sea of gold over Nyhouse, draws a foul.
The length of, again, the length of some of these players is astounding. You only had to see Stratsma then. Started his steps almost at the top of the keyway there and still managed to get to the bucket.
It's he's got some long legs. And again, I'll come to that point in a second, Joe, but I've got a point to make on that. Pawson.
Thank you, AJ, as he heads out.
Yeah, and our ball goes out of court. Now, the other thing too here, we've got players that have been in the Chargers squad and currently training at the moment, and of course they've been doing a lot of fitness work with Michelle Chopping, who is the fitness kind of coach at the Chargers, and you could see the improvement already in just how they kind of, extra jump, extra kind of agility by some of these boys of our Chargers squad.
Absolutely, and noticeably too, you'll see there's Phoenix Roby.
Pass.
Another $1 million move with a 5-cent finish, but there's that back door that's open. But you'll notice that among some of the BTAS development crew who have also been working with Michelle as part of the Chargers crew, and you'd have to think that Coach Radford's very happy at the fact that a lot of his top-tier elite players in this squad are doing the extra work and really showcasing it here.
Yeah, absolutely, and no better way of showing it here as well on court. So Brown, now Boucher. Dean's off the pin down from Brown. So Dean's trying to split for a couple. Good pass into Brown. And again, nice two-man connection there, JB.
Good finish. Drew the double. And Cy Deans is a player that demands that double. He's one of the absolute elite athletes, not only in the state, but certainly across the country, Ronnie.
So Pawson has to go cross-court. Shepherd, step back. Just long.
Shepherd needs to look to get inside. That jumper really hasn't fallen from him since the outset. A couple of air balls, a couple of missed mid-ranges. He's going to want to look to distribute or get inside.
Downey into Roby, rejected by Strasmo. And then Nyhouse able to recover.
I think he was trying to actually get a deflection there, but it's worked out his way.
Now Pawson. And now Shepherd has slowed us down. Lewis Crennan, look at it, check back in.
Yeah, 8-second violation, didn't get over the floor.
And that's just, that's a mental error in one half there, JB.
Well, I was actually surprised. I think the big takeaway from that was that they gained possession very early down on the baseline and have walked it round. But no, very smart call. And, I mean, that's a fundamental error you wouldn't expect to see at this level, Ronnie.
No, certainly not. And nor at any higher level as well too, JB. All teams should be aware of where the shot clock is at.
No excuses. We are surrounded by 6 of these bad boys today.
My word, we are. So Boucher here at the elbow. And looking for Downey on the back door. Fruto didn't look to go that way, but now Deans. And puts up a nice floater. Off glass, gets the 2.
Cy Deans really making an impact here in the third quarter. Haywood in the second, Deans in the third. And they're out to a 3-point lead, Ronnie, and the Kings really need some execution here. Good defence.
Good strip by Downey.
And gets the result.
And off the leg of Pawson. And high performance to get it back.
Third time is a charm there for Downey. He's been going for that strip off the leg and playing it very smart. He hasn't been reaching in too far. He hasn't been dragging too much. And again, this defensive presence that's coming across this BTAS team really coming into effect, looking to make a 5 to 6 point lead now.
So Boucher, they've slowly chipped away at this and worked their way to a 3-point lead. It's been really good. After a 16-point lead by Kingborough at one stage.
Oh, Cy Deans.
Deans to Roby.
Deserves a basket.
Can't get that to go. The fight on the rebound happening here. And then Kingborough were able to win that one through Collins. Pawson up the floor quick and gets the 2.
I thought we were going to get our first Wham Bam Jam Thank You Ma'am of the weekend. Nonetheless, a high finish off the glass and back to a 1-point ball game.
So Crennan, now Boucher. Lockie Maynard looking to check back in as well too. Deans from the top of the key, yes.
Never looked like missing when he come off that pick. Caught in the shot pocket, elevated nicely, used the screen to an effect, and it's back out to 3.
So Shepherd, now Nyhouse. So back to Shepherd. Shot clock here down to 14. Shepherd getting a little bit stuck under the basket. And tried to probably do a bit too much there in the end there.
He's having a bad run here, Shepherd. I think he'd admit that himself. Yeah, he's coming off a bit of a spell. His jumper isn't quite falling. He had just the mental blank there in the backcourt. But, I mean, he'll readjust. He's a veteran of this team, one would have to suggest, just looking at how senior it actually is. But he's trying to do his bit here and lead his team.
So Haywood, now Maynard. Haywood inside. Now Maynard goes baseline. Good cross-court pass. And Roby couldn't be able to reel that one in.
I think he thought that was... there's a bit of confusion where the pass was going, but I think he thought there was a deflection on the Kings with not enough hustle on that one there.
So Walker back in as he makes the play call.
Good shooter here, Walker. He's going to want to get some space. There it is.
Bang!
Yes.
Jordan Walker knocks down the 3.
There's a particular shooting program he has been working on.
Yes.
That has been working nicely for him. Strathmore.
And timeout will be called here by Coach Radford. A quick 5-zip run, and we're tied at 43 apiece with 2:59 remaining.
And there's that momentum we said the Kings need to build, albeit they're probably building it 7 minutes into the quarter. Wasn't expecting that, but I mean, that's just the quick spark that the Kings can have from effective shooting. And again, that size, length and athleticism that they bring, that is just purely a defensive lapse there and communication lapse by BTAS. And again, just a lack of offensive execution down here. That's potentially an 8-point swing just off a turnover or 2 back-to-back turnovers there. So that's certainly something that Coach Radford won't be happy with. But again, those boys would understand what's happened there. They've had a bit of a spark. They're well in this game, and we've still got, nearly 13 minutes left in this game. So, just a little lapse there. I'd rather have it with 3 minutes to go in the third than with 30 seconds to go in the fourth, where you're then going into a late game situation rather than a controlling situation. But it's good to see the Kings have rebounded out. It looked like they were going to start to blow out a little bit here, and the confidence was dropping. But again, that shooting from Jordan Walker, the length of Strathmore, Pawson with the athleticism, and they're just looking a bit better here in these last couple of play phases.
Absolutely, and they've taken a 2-point lead. My apologies. Scoreboard a little bit slow to update, 45-43. Now, we have noticed too at SBL action, JB, that they get a good rowdy crowd, and that helps with their momentum.
If there's the only way you will find a better home crowd reaction is a sellout up in the NWBU for a home team. I mean, we get very minimal numbers on a Wednesday night down here in the south, but you might only have a parent from each player watching, and it feels like there's 300 people in. So the Kings still getting a bit of a home court advantage here as well. Not as many in support. Sidedean's missing that one, but they're going to want to feed off that energy that comes through.
So ball goes out of play. Kingston to get it back. Or Kingborough, sorry. And
we have to say Kingborough Huon because young Jordan Walker's from all the way down...
Franklin.
Yes, my God.
That's a long drive.
Just noticed here, a one-on-one defence. Sidedeans is chasing Elijah Pawson everywhere. Bang!
And Pawson knocks down the triple, and all of a sudden this game's swung back to Kingborough Huon's way, and they lead by 6.
Looks like Pawson's wanting to follow him around too. Haywood into this game, wanting to provide another spark.
So Haywood down low with Nyhouse, has to kick it out to French.
Probably used that dribble a bit early.
French puts it to the floor and loses the handle. And got to get away with one there.
Yes, didn't look like any contact on the ball. Nonetheless, a bit hard. Again, sometimes you're blindsided, even with 3 referees. So high performance to restart. 8 left on the shot clock. So French. And poor pass. Pawson clear for takeoff. No, give us a layup, Elijah. Okay. Yes.
Lead out to 7.
Didn't take the M16, just the small Cessna to the basket.
So Roby puts it to the floor with Strathmore. This is a likely matchup on a Wednesday night. Haywood from downtown.
Can't get it to
rattled.
fall. Going to want to get some energy into him early here, and 100 seconds to really make a stand. BTAS now down by 7, wanting to avoid a double digit. Good D by Roby.
Yes, they certainly need to just keep this within arm's length now. We want to set up a cracker for last quarter as Pawson gets a screen from Nyhouse, goes for himself, just long on the 3. Nyhouse with the O board, has to kick it back out to the top. Now Strasmer puts
Gets
it
the
to the floor.
defender in the air.
And he pulls up from mid-range, can't get the use of a friendly roll, and Haywood with the rebound. So 80 seconds and beyond remaining here as French now goes baseline.
Dribbles through everyone.
Splits through. And then Haywood now Deans. Now Crennan.
I'm liking that matchup there, the one-on-one of Pawson and Deans. You don't see that a lot in elite level.
Roby, now Haywood open.
Bang!
He's good. So back to 4 now. 50-46.
BTAS really pushing up here.
And then
Loose by Nyhouse.
And then Radford
Good
asking
D.
for a double team.
Very good
and
D.
Gets the result. Now Crennan needs to get this one off. Under 40 seconds remaining here. It's now Deans. Can they get this marching back to 2 or 1? So Roby.
30 seconds to go.
He's thinking about it. Now ball. French from downtown. Just short.
Gets his own rebound though.
Good O-board. And now needs to kick it back out. Haywood. So high performance here.
And there's just the composure and the difference in a lot of sides. Most sides would have tried to rush the second opportunity.
So Deans now needs to get it off with 2. Goes up. Good control. Crennan with a tip in. And we're back to a 2-point ball game. Last play here, term number 3. Strasmer.
Gonna need a shot.
Trying to work his way through and can't get it to go. Lipped out. But good work by the high performance group there to swing that one back, and it's a 2-point ball game. Kingborough 50, the high performance group 48.
We'll take a quick break here. An action-packed last quarter coming up here in our opening game of State League.
Final quarter, actually just about to get underway here. And Kingborough with a 2-point lead, 50-48. And we are about to go, and we are underway here in this last quarter. So Sardines to now French. Now Haywood at the elbow. Has to put up the shot. Can't get that to go. Gets his own rebound. And then good deflection by young Jordan Strasmer. As play comes down the floor here now through Shepherd. Now Pawson. Good deflection there by French, who's doing a good job. And now foul on the play. It's going to be on Noah Strasmer. And high performance. Doing a good job there early on in this first 21 seconds of play in this fourth quarter. So Sardines coming up the floor here now. JB just momentarily, just quickly out somewhere. He'll be back shortly. Crennan. Now Deans inside to Haywood. Haywood goes cross court to French now. Roby for 3. Can't get that to go. And now well saved. And then into Crennan. The 2 Glenorchy teammates sync up. As ball gets moved around, Haywood nearly lost it on the bubble there, but then finds his way through, can't get it to go, gets his own board. Good work by the high performance group. So this ball gets kicked out. Now here's Roby, French, splits through a couple, has to kick it out to Deans from downtown, and it's good. Side Deans with the 3, and high performance take a 1-point lead, 51-50, as Pawson comes down the other end of the floor, and gets the 2. French now coming back down, and the lead changes once again. So we'll have a few lead changes by the sounds of it if this is close. So Deans, now French, getting good touch passing, and Haywood with the kind of the streaky runner, and gets that 2 to go. So Shepherd, and then good deflection there by Haywood, and Kingborough to get it back here. So Shepherd to restart here on the inbounds. Now Collins. Collins working his way one-on-one. He lost the handle. Has to give it up now. Goes to Shepherd. And then puts it to the floor. Good pressure by the high performance group. Collins for 3. He's just long in the shot. Strasmer with the rebound. Now inside to Haywood. Good defensive pressure there. And then Collins puts it up, can't get it to go, and then the ball bowled back out to French. Now French working his way through here, putting on a few moves, comes down the floor. Now Deans, here's Crennan. And then good touch pass inside. So Crennan tries to go to Roby. Roby not initially knowing it was there, and then Kingborough able to get that one back. And now Shepherd coming back down the floor here. So Shepherd putting on some moves, attacks the rim and gets the nice two to go. Great work there by Bain Shepherd. So again, the lead goes back to Kingborough by 1 as French. Now Deans for 3. Yes, Side Deans with the 3. And we're having a bit of a shootout contest here at the Kingborough Sports Centre. Alex Cato looking maybe for a timeout as he signalled to the bench. Now Pawson. Collins, then Strasmer. Strasmer puts it to the floor. Beautiful play by the Kingborough Kings. Collins and Strasmer worked that one nicely. And we're tied ball game. 56 apiece here. So French thought about it. Now ball with Roby on the baseline. Now Deans for 3. Yes, back-to-back triples for Deans. And timeout being called here by Alex Cato. Sees the high performance group up by 3, 59 to 56, and a very entertaining 3.5 minutes in this last quarter. So head coach Alex Cato will look to make some adjustments and some changes here. And really, the high performance group once again coming out strong as JB joins me back in commentary.
Sorry, Ronnie, I, as normal, got talking. Just ran into some other State League players, notably Cal Barker will be suiting up for Glenorchy.
Oh, very good.
But this one, still another tight contest.
Yes, it is.
You were panning the camera then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. At least one of us remembered.
Yes. There's been about 5 lead changes already in this final quarter already, JB. Deans knocking down back-to-back triples, but then Kingborough, finding some good ways on their offensive phases as well too. So again, both teams defensively need to readjust what they're doing in this last quarter.
Getting some back and forward action. That's exactly what we want.
Absolutely. So
I can't say I didn't see any of that play. No. But no, good to see. And again, we were a little worried there. The surge that the Kings had there, that BTAS might potentially fold down at the same time. We were worried partway through our other quarter there that the Kings were going to fall down. So it's good to see both teams holding up and really setting a standard for the weekend.
So Pawson coming down the floor here. And goes again for 3 and is not afraid to put that one up and get it to splash.
That's a tie ball game. Elijah Pawson's shooting is an X factor here in this last quarter.
So Deans, Crennan.
A bit slow there on the pass.
Yep. So Crennan gets it back, gets the drive. Good drive by Lewis Crennan. Can't get that to go. Goes for seconds and gets it.
There's those 1%ers again, and as you can see, it's really lifting the team there. That's the energy you need. Halfway through here, the final quarter of game 1.
So Pawson and a foul on Lewis Crennan.
Yes, they're really trying to push the defence here. BTAS, again, started slow. We're down by as much as 16, 17 points in that first quarter, and they're really continuing to plug away here.
So Pawson at the corner. 1-on-1 with Maynard. Pawson goes. Can't get that to...
There's that quick trigger.
No. Now Roby. Deans. For triple threes.
Bang!
That is his third 3 in this final quarter already, JB.
There's the reason why he's one of the elite athletes across the country in this sport. Pawson!
Rejected by Roby and Deans, but the ball went out of play and Kingborough to get it back.
Yes, Deans is really going to push himself here. One of the last times we could potentially see him in a State League Guernsey for Tasmania.
Absolutely. I think we said a similar thing with Brain Smith last year in State League, and
both going to push really hard for MVP of this tournament. Well, sorry, no, Rain did push for MVP of the tournament.
My word. Strasmer rattles that one home. We're back to a 1-point ball game, 64-63.
Only took 3 quarters, but we now have consistent threes falling for both squads.
It's only taken only taken about 35 minutes of this game, but we finally got there, JB.
It's only early in the morning. We'll give him a break.
Absolutely. Deans. Looking for Crennan because he got triple team, but then good pressure. And then, Shepherd tried a heads-up play.
No way.
Work, and no, Bank's not open on a Saturday, thank you very much. Meanwhile, Shepherd, now Strasmer, back to Shepherd. Good 2-man play, and it will count. And the foul for Bain Shepherd. Fouls on Maynard. Shepherd goes to the line for 1.
And that's the look that Shepherd needed. He's had a really rough opening 35 minutes of this game. Speaking of MVPs, I'm spotting a Hobart potential MVP in the top window there, but Shepherd, again, he's had a really rough start to this game, and by rough start, I mean he's just had a rough game. But to come in, spark that, he's the leader of this team. He's a seasoned veteran, and with his outside shooting falling for him, for his teammates, you'd like to think that he's going to continue to build upon it.
Can't get that to go.
Good save by Boucher.
Boucher nearly went out of bounds.
Landed in his dad's lap.
The light blue lines here at the Kingborough Sports Centre, by the way, as well too. As Haywood puts it to the floor. Now Crennan.
Certainly not as messy as the lines on the other show court. The players will be very thankful for that.
Downey, good drive aggressively.
Lovely.
Good layup by Josh Downey.
But that's the result he wanted. He's played tremendous defence across the first 3 quarters there, looking for some offensive spark, and gets it.
So Pawson now coming down the floor here. Nearly lost a handle but regained it. Strasma wasn't ready to roll. And a turnover by the Kings. That might prove costly. Downey. Now Deans. Good fake. And then
Good
inside.
pass.
Crennan,
Good step.
And gets the use of a friendly roll, and the lead out to 4 here for the high performance group.
And there's the selflessness of Sardines there. He had 2 clear 3-point opportunities, took the dump down inside, high percentage shot, and gets the result. BTAS up by 4.
So Pawson now pulls up for 3
Bang!
and gets it to go. That might be a go-to for the Kings if they need it, JB. Just go 1-4 flat or an on-ball and then clear out for him to shoot.
Yeah, they need to try and get him on the weak side of that defence. They do not want Sardines chasing him around in the form he's in, or this man with the ball right now.
So Haywood, who's provided a good spark off the bench, rejected by Strasma and Collins. Wanted to call, referees didn't see it that way. And Kingborough to get it back.
Really consistent here from our referees across the first 3 and a bit quarters. As mentioned by Andrew Johnson, not rewarding fouls for guys going straight up on the defence, allowing that contact, and that's what we'd like to see in the game.
Absolutely, JB. That's right. So Hardog goes for it. Could he be an X factor in this final quarter?
He could be, but I don't think it's going to be 25 feet out from the low box.
No. Downey, nearly lost the handle, gained it back. Haywood puts it to the floor. Now Crennan. Now Deans, who's had an excellent game.
Oh, nice pass,
and
nice roll.
Inside to Crennan. Good use of the body and gets it off glass for 2.
That's been great vision and good IQ from Sardines here, back-to-back plays. He's had that open shot, could do it all himself, but utilising better options.
So Strasma.
Never thought I'd say Sardines has seen better options than himself, but...
Shepherd for 3.
Oh!
And the bank is open on Saturday, JB.
Well,
We're tied at 70.
I can guarantee you we went to the ATM up at West Side Circle for that one.
He certainly did.
Is there an ATM at West Side Circle? There's a McDonald's, I know that much.
You'll come back to that later, Downey. Here's Boucher from the elbow. Can't get the steadier to go. And, well, it wasn't much. So... Kingborough won a foul, but they both kind of came together at the same time. Minimal, not much contact. Well, minimal. Well, it was contact, but there's nothing that was rough or hard.
No, I think Shepherd's lost a bit of wind there, and that mainly probably certainly looks a bit worse on camera when you see a bloke flat back from about 10 feet in the air. But I mean, as you mentioned, both teams going for the ball. That's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Yeah. And I mean, based on the consistency that we've seen all game, that contact there hasn't been paid, so it would look, it would be a great look to pay that in the last 2.5 minutes of a tight contest.
That's right. Tied at 70. Of course, if we are tied, we go to OT. Downey.
I want a shootout.
And foul on Nash will go to the line for 2.
Yep, in the landing zone there. That was an easy call to be made, but a foul that needs to be taken. I mean, when you've got streaky offensive players trying to get into the game, putting them on the line and putting them under more pressure is a good key there. We'll see how it pays off, but we're in for a very exciting final 2 minutes in a contest. We couldn't ask for a better contest to open the round, Ronnie.
Absolutely. It's, early on we thought this game might just blow out the Kingborough's way, but credit to the high-performance group. They've come back into this ball game, chipped away, put some good defensive pressure on, and now all of a sudden we're tied at 70 with 2:06 remaining as we come down the floor here through Pawson. Now Shepherd.
Really look to get into this game here, Shepherd.
Strasma for 3. Short. Hits the iron.
I just wonder whether the Kings are going to want to run some size very shortly here. The last thing they need is to be beaten on the boards and in second chance points.
So Boucher, back to Downey. So Downey splitting through a couple. Good pass to Haywood here for the 3 and gets it to go. Riley Haywood, the boy from Penguin, gets the 3 to go.
Two big sparks here for BTAS throughout the game. Downey has been tremendous defensively, even though undersized, and Haywood really brought the team back in the second quarter. Good to see that connection.
Strasmer for the response, yes.
And there's a man who's just been going all 4 quarters inside and outside. We've got another hot game here, 90 seconds to go.
It's tied at 73. This has been a cracker of a last quarter here. Trust you are enjoying the coverage. Deans goes all the way and gets it to go.
There's that Cessna finish we've been looking for. Still no one-hand jam, but a good finish by Deans, who's going to want to close this one out big time.
So Shepherd, now Collins. Shot clock at 12. Good cut by Noah. Strasman throws it down with a one-hand wham bam, thank you man jam.
Close enough, good enough. That's what we've got. We've finally got takeoff and flight, and that's a massive spark here in the final minute of this last quarter.
So Downey, and then poor pass. So Collins here, Kingborough look to take the lead. Spin move, can't get it to go. Haywood reels in the rebound. And now we're at 45 seconds.
Really tried to ride that energy, Collins. That was a very that was a slow spin cycle. Nonetheless, couldn't get the result.
So Crennan at the elbow. Now Boucher. Boucher looking for his options. Now goes back to Deans. Deans getting on ball from Crennan here. So Deans working. He'll nearly lost the handle. And they've got to get it up quick.
That's a violation.
And good defensive sequence by Kingborough. And they have a chance here with 24.7. And Alex Cato is going to go for a timeout. Now, I'll be interested to see if they advance the ball down. Now, if they do, shot clock goes to 14. If they keep it up here, the shot clock will still stay at 24.
I believe the smart thing to do, and this is a play that's worked really successful for them here across the game, I'd almost be trying to run that 1-4 flat with Pawson. I'd be taking it 94 feet, allow him to use the floor, allow him to use 24 seconds, but also having to be wary as a BTAS defensive team that you've got Stratsma who can roll high for a shot. You also have the fact that he can play inside. You also have Shepherd, who, albeit has been streaky, can play for a shot as well. I'd be wanting to utilise that full 24, see the floor, utilise the options and the defence there. Meanwhile, I think Coach Radford will be preparing for both, but the big factor there, again, got to keep an eye on Stratsma, who can score inside. Got to keep an eye on Shepherd, who will knock a shot. Pawson, obviously the main focus of this next play. Meanwhile, though, I wonder whether Coach Radford is going to want to look if he can get a stop. What sort of play can we transition to? If we get a stop and the ball doesn't go out of bounds with 6 seconds remaining, what do we want to come down the floor and get? Do we want to get it in the hands of Deans? Do we want it in the hands of Haywood? At the same time, do we want to run a decoy for Downey, who's also rewarded us with some tremendous plays? So they're going to come out on the floor with Haywood, Downey, Boucher, Deans, and I'm looking at number 11 and losing a name there, Ronnie, for BTAS. Over there in the corner with the headband.
Crennan.
So they are going to play 94 feet.
Yep. So
go through Pawson.
And that's not a bad option. Run the whole clock down, and I think Kingborough are going to go for it here. Any score will do if Kingborough can get a basket here.
Nash is open under there.
Deans, good pressure. Shepherd lost control, and it's a backcourt violation. And now will Coach Mark Radford call a timeout or let his boys play this one out?
No, he will take a timeout.
Timeout. There you go. So good. So a little bit too much kind of stuff happening. Finesse at the top there. And Dean's good pressure, that experience of playing away and playing against some different bodies in some different parts of the world is paying off dividends.
Absolutely. I mean, we've raved on about it throughout the broadcast, Ronnie, but he is one of the preeminent junior basketballers in the country. There's a reason that he's been playing in rep sides. We've just got a question.
I think Mark wants to know where the ball will be inbounded from.
It would have to be just over halfway. Yep, on the green line there.
So, I mean, he can advance it 5 feet down if he really wanted it to, but I think he'd be happy just to take it there. They're in their front court.
And he actually gives himself another 10, 15 feet of space to work with, which doesn't sound like much. And you also don't think that 10 seconds is a long time, but in a basketball sense, that's plenty of time to run a decent set and get a shot off. Again, the question here, you'd have to think Deans is your number one option here. That's almost a death taxes operation, as I like to say. But again, the wariness that the Kings need to have is that Downey has been effective, and the fact that Haywood has also been effective. And it's good to see that Coach Radford and the BTAS squad are rewarding these players who have kept them in this game, who have brought them in this game, and have created the energy. So it'll be interesting to see. Meanwhile, for the Kings, I just wonder what their reaction's going to be if they get a stop. That was a great defensive presence there. The idea, certainly there, but I think they ran too much finesse. Probably would have been looking for an isolation. Young Caleb Nash open on the baseline. That skip pass would have been there. But again, I do question whether it would have been too early to execute in the shot clock. They would have had a similar situation, had the basket with 10 seconds, albeit with a lead, a little more pressure on the offensive side of BTAS, but a 2-point lead's better than trying to defend a game winner, really.
And here we go. So Haywood to get us restarted. Boucher with the ball. Now, would that be a foul?
It'd be a jump ball, and it's going the Kings' way.
Now, do the Kings have a timeout up their sleeve?
3 timeouts gone, so they have to inbound it.
So 8.3 remaining.
It's going to be a long game, I feel, Ronnie. And this is this is the result it deserves. A tight game, a fight back, good play on both ends, coming down to the wire.
Good deflection by Deans. Pawson able to get it off. Pass into Strasmer. Can he get the 2 to drop? No. Rebound. And last touch by Boucher. So 2.9 remaining here.
On edge already, Ronnie. It's good.
Absolutely. I've got to stand up, I think.
Oh, God.
So here we go. Pawson. Now Strasmer for the win.
Got it.
And 0.4 remaining, and Coach Radford will want a timeout.
That was only a 2-pointer, so I don't know why they're up by 3. But that was high arcing. I was actually wondering whether that was even going to hit the rim. It didn't hit the rim. It was the bottom of the calico. It was nothing but net.
Thank you very much. And, well, Kingborough up by 3 on the scoreboard. No, we'll make it 2.
It needs to be 2.
It's a 2. Thank you very much. Well,
there's a lot of athleticism in this side to run a tip in for OT, Ronnie. This is
correct.
Is there enough now? There's
0.4.
There is 0.4. 0.3 is your minimum, I do
correct.
believe.
Yes, 0.3 it is, JB.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to advance the ball. You're not going to try and.
No.
This isn't a Christian Leitner.
No.
For those that have 30-year memory or have seen the game. But, I mean, your real question here, that was probably, from a BTAS standpoint, that was certainly the shot that they wanted the Kings to take, I feel. They didn't want them to be open at the top and looking at the whole floor. You know, they've had to really push them to the back so they can corner them. Unfortunately, Strathmore with that length, again, playing that stretch 4 and 5 for the last 2 years has really helped him there. But now the pressure is on the BTAS team. They need to execute. They're going to need a backdoor finish here because a catch and shoot here is, for lack of a better term, the worst possible result they can get. They're going to want to run a backdoor play. They're going to want to tip in. Plenty of athleticism there. Boucher is quite a leaper. I wouldn't be surprised to see that run for him as well. But again, you can never count out Sardines in this situation.
Yeah, that's true. So
Haywood's been reliable. Downey's at this point too small, unfortunately, to really run that play. I mean, it could be a deceptive thing where we go and try and run it there. But this is going to be very interesting. This is a pressure cooker. This shot will either end it or send it to OT. Let's see what they come up with.
So 0.4 remaining. Ball has definitely been advanced, so we'll see. They've got same lineup as they've got, so I reckon they're looking to run a box play.
They're running Deans on the low post. Is he just going to try and tip this in from here?
It could well happen. Let's see what happens. No, they're looking for a screen. They're looking for
stripped away. Good D,
and that will do it. And Kingborough win a close one. They were up by 16 early on, and in BTAS, credit to them, they made a good comeback and able to take the lead. And then we had a few lead changes throughout that last quarter, but in the end, Kingborough hold on by a basket. So final scores here sees Kingborough 77, the Basketball Tasmania High Performance Group 75, JB.
Yep, a ripper contest and got the finish it deserved. It looked like BTAS really started too slow for their own good. In fact, one would argue, had they actually started a bit stronger, they probably do come away with this game. But a tremendous finish there for what's been a tremendous game, and they have truly set the standard for what's going to be a ripper weekend.
Absolutely. So on behalf of Justin Bryan, I'm Roy Riggs. That's been our first game done and dusted, and we'll see you for the next one.